Matt, good to see you. We are dipping into the headlines today. A popular financial guru proposes an 8% withdrawal rate, but is that realistic? Recently, this well known financial expert dismissed the common advice to withdraw only 4% of your retirement savings annually as, quote, moronic. Instead, advocating for an 8% withdrawal rate, he argues that rate can be sustained without eroding principal balance. So the financial world, of course, exploded following this advice. What do you think?
Aaron, just to be direct, first and foremost, I am a Dave Ramsey Smart Investor Pro advisor. So that disclaimer, and I did grow up in that world my whole life. Before that, it was Larry Burkett, things like that. But to be direct, no, I wouldn't be in agreement with that. And Dave's a great guy. And I know a lot of people in this world were just looking for one area to disagree and throw out the baby with the bathwater. That's not me. He's done a lot of great helping people. Right. At the same time, I think it is important to understand his perspective. His perspective is not the same as you and I and the average person. He's a billionaire. He's still working. He's not living on his bucket of money. And he has enough guaranteed income off of his real estate to where he probably doesn't need to touch his bucket of money like the average consumer will.
So Ramsey also recommended that retirees invest all their assets in equities. Wouldn't that be exposing retirees to a lot of risk and market volatility?
That would. Generally, as a person gets older, they become more conservative. And what we want is their allocation to reflect that. If you're a conservative investor, we don't want to be in the S&P 100%. If you're an aggressive investor, as you get to retirement, we generally need to tone it down to minimize the drawdown or how much you can lose in a down market.
Mm-hmm. So when could an 8% withdrawal rate be sustainable?
Well, I think going back to Dave's perspective, and that's just my opinion of his perspective, I think if you have enough guaranteed income coming in every month to where you don't need to touch your buckets of money, well, then it's a moot point. But I think for the average consumer, or if your lifespan, just to be direct, if you feel like your lifespan's shorter and you have, 5 years to live, well, then we know we could take it out at a higher rate, assuming we don't want to pass on any money to the kids. Mm-hmm. So that's another factor. Do you want to pass some money to the kids? Do you need to leave it for a spouse, or what's your situation?
Right. So, Matt, of course, the general rule of thumb is a 4% withdrawal rate, but even that number is under debate. Why?
Well, 4% is just a good general number. The idea, if we make 4%, you take out 4%, in theory, you're not depleting your assets. But everyone's situation is different. Well, what are your tax rates? Taxes are going up. So what if we're in a situation we have to take out more to net the same? But again, everybody's situation is different. Some people may need to take out more. Some people may need to take out less. It's just a matter of what your situation is and getting it dialed in for you.
Mm-hmm. So brass tacks then, Matt, how do you help clients find their correct withdrawal rate? And then how often are they revisiting that number?
The closer you get to retirement, the more often we want to revisit that.
Yeah.
If you're 2 years from retirement, we want to review it at least once a year. When you're 6 months from retirement, I like to revisit it 6 months before, and then when you're ready to pull the plug. But if you have a long ways to go, it's something we talk about in the first meeting. If you have 30 years to retirement, we'll talk about it. But generally, the closer you are to retirement, the more frequently we want to talk about it.
Right. Yeah. Certainly not a one and done number. Well, I enjoy being able to talk through the headlines with you, Matt, because of course there is much more nuance than we would assume just by reading those scary headlines. So if somebody would like to find their own unique withdrawal rate with you, how can they reach you with questions?
The best way is to call and set an appointment, 425-256-3105. And whoever answers the phone can set an appointment so we can get it dialed in for you.
All right. Perfect. Matt, thank you so much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care.